Get back. Okay. Let's see. So we haven't gotten to the point where we're doing the raid sirens, have we?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, you were talking about Tom Shaw. He was out a neighbor across the road from the store. Well, you were asking about air raid warning.
No. Let's don't do that yet. I don't want to get there yet.
No, you were asking about the air raid warning. If we had air raid warnings in school and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Shaw was the air raid warden. 5 hour way. They would blow that siren up at Joyland. And you could hear it halfway to Wake Forest, all the way around. Anyway, everybody would cut the lights out, either pull the shades, and Tom would come out with his lantern. World War I helmet, painted white, and he would go walk all around the community, knock on somebody's door and say, I can see some light.
Carry the light.
But I remember one night, we had a fire over there, close to Louis Bailey's. So I went down and got Paul. We got up with Tom Shaw and went over and put the damn fire out. Got the fire put out.
So, now, how old are you at this point? You're in high school.
Yeah.
And you guys are working as part of the forestry. You're helping.
Yeah,
Did you get paid for that?
Huh?
Did you get paid for it?
$50 a month, boy. That's damn good money.
As volunteer fire department.
Yeah. Well, no, we won't want no volunteer. Won't no fire departments. Won't
Which is part of CC or the forestry.
Water forester. So Paul said. So Tom Shaw said, "Come on, boys, we'll go home." I said, "Paul, come on. You and I'll walk home." Tom Shaw said, "Boys, you can't walk that far." I said, "Sheriff, damn it, we're right here on Terrell Branch. We ain't a half mile from your house." "Oh, come on." No, we gonna walk. Paul and I was sitting out there in Tom Shaw's yard. It was a half hour before we got there waiting for him.
What kind of fire equipment did you have?
Those 5-gallon Smith Indian pumps that you had on your back, and a flapper. Yep. And a rake.
What did it have in it?
Water. You'd have to go to a branch or a creek or one.
Every 5 gallons.
Every 5 gallons.
Jesus.
And then you talk about.
Well, that siphoning came in handy.
Huh?
That siphoning came in handy.
But in the wintertime, now you talk about something rough, boy. You put that pump down in there. You put that tank down in the water and fill it up and put it on your back and it wet and soaking through. Man, it was cold as a dove.
What kind of training did you get to do that? None.
But I fought fire with Daddy for hell when, shucks, I was 9, 10 years old.
Let me let him in.
I reckon.
Jigger wants to come in. Come on, Bubba. Come on, big fat dog. You're a big fat dog. Since you were 9 or 10?
Yeah.
9 or 10 years old, fighting fire.
Fighting fire, yeah.
What the hell did you do when you were 9 or 10 fighting fires?
Carrying one of them damn pumps and a rake and a flapper. But I remember one night we had gone to a fire up there. Right where, not too far out of Hillsboro. Fighting with me and Daddy. We were by ourselves, one another darn soul on it. And we'd gotten it put out. And he told me, said, all right, I'll walk the fire line one way and you walking around the other and we'll meet up there at an old church. I walked on up there. I got on up there and a whole bunch of stones sticking up about that.
Keep going.
Whole bunch of stones sticking up maybe 3 feet out of the ground there and things. I got there a little bit before he did. And I was in the graveyard at the church. There were Revolutionary and Civil War soldiers buried in that graveyard.
In Hillsboro?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I can't wait. Knock it over, Jay. Okay. So, he's okay. He's just excited. He's excited. He got out and dig a big poop. Okay, so let's see. We were talking about you played basketball. We went from there and there and there. Okay, my one thing we skipped on you, I want to go back to because I can patch this in. Tell me about graduating from high school. What do you remember about your graduation? Did you have cap and gown? You guys did all that, right?
God, yeah.
Well, tell me about it.
Everything white.
What were your school colors?
I don't even know.
What was your school mascot? Now listen, you're a damn cheerleader. For 3 years, you're throwing me time going, hey, Greenville. Yeah, right.
A majorette,
Well, yeah, right. Majorette.
God,
chief majorette, weren't you one time?
Your head majorette.
yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you remember about graduation? Anything?
Graduation. A group of us had come down to Atlantic Beach,
Wow.
and we had to be back for the what to free graduation
Practice. Oh, baccalaureate.
baccalaureate. For the my God.
Okay. And then so,
And we walked across the stage and got our diploma.
how many people in your graduating class?
Oh God. I'd say in the 90s, it was a big, big school.
Okay, Pop. Let's see. We're not quite done. Have we gotten to graduation on you yet?
No.
No. Go ahead.
About midterm, about the middle of my second term, my junior year, I decided I was going to get the hell out, quit. So I quit.
Quit school.
Me and Harold both
Yes.
went to Raleigh to try to get in the Coast Guard.
Again, this is another reason why this is important.
Yeah.
I know none of this shit.
Well, Harold couldn't get in the Coast Guard because he was colorblind. He said I couldn't get in because I stuttered. I said, hell, I ain't going to talk to some bitches together. I want to get in the Coast Guard. I couldn't get in. But anyway, I went to work with J.P. McGuire Construction Company. Had a little asphalt plant down there on East Trinity Avenue. And had hauling asphalt and didn't have no cabs on the truck, just had a windshield, and you sat on something like a fish box then. But David Harris and I were working at that summer. David was another nigga. He and I fed that blame plant with a shovel with sand. I thought, man, shit, man, I'm going to do this the rest of my damn life. So I went back to school. I decided I'm going back to school. But no, Daddy had told me when school started that the next year, hell, I done lost all credits for that junior year. Not one damn credit.
For the whole year?
The whole damn, I lost the whole kit and caboodle.
Wow.
Yeah. Daddy told me, said, you're either going back to school or you're going to work, one or the other. Well, I'll go back to school. So I had to work. Well, Sarah Bullock was my math teacher and everything, but John Neal was the principal. Now he was one. Now he taught math at times too. But we learned business math. We learned the stock market, the bulls and the bears, and all of that kind of stuff. And clean stuff you could use, you know. But I got through. I've taken second year French, and I remember the only thing I remember.
Now, is this the repeat of your junior year?
Yeah, hell, I had to take my junior and my senior year all
In 1 year.
kit and caboodle put together. Only thing I remember in French was Allez au diable, feast du le monde au chien. Go to hell, you goddamn son of a bitch.
And you remember it to this day.
I remember that. But Claire Nichols taught French. But Ollie Carpenter taught English. Charlie and I were talking about her, a couple of years ago. And he said, do you know who I think was the best teacher I ever had? I said, Ollie Carpenter. Said, you a damn right.
And she was your French teacher?
No English.
I mean English, I'm sorry.
She was good, boy. My Lord. And Eliza Honeycutt, you remember Miss Honeycutt? She taught general science and physics and that. Mercury, you man, if you get 1.5 mile of 1 drop of mercury, you gonna die. We take a bottle of mercury and pour it out on the table and watch it run. Lord. But I remember Halloween night, my senior year. I'd been working, well, I wasn't working, I'd go over with Ben Shaw, Claire Shaw's. Claire taught home ec. I'd go over and help Ben in the afternoons. He was blowing stumps over at the old place. Stick a rod, stick a hole down in the ground, put a stick of dynamite with a cap and a fuse on it, and it would blow the stumps loose, and then you could take a mule, drag it out. Well, I knew just about as much about just enough about dynamite to be dangerous. Well, Ben wasn't blowing those stumps in. Ben was working with me. So Pete Pretty was another one that lived over there close to Harold. Well, I knew Pete was helping his daddy blow stumps. So I talked to him the day we had a Halloween party at school on Friday night. And I knew that dynamite fuse was supposed to burn a foot a minute. So I told Pete, I said, oh, at least I asked him if he was still helping his daddy blow stumps. He said, yeah. I said, are you coming to the party tonight? He said, yeah. I said, how about bringing me a half a stick of dynamite, a cap, and 10 foot of fuse? Okay. So all those over there in the high school building and stuff. Our high school building was just a wood frame building.
One story?
Huh?
One story?
One story, yeah. Well, let's see, there were either 15 or 18 of us in the graduating class.
Wow.
That year. But anyway, Pete came up to me. He said, that stuff you want's out there in the back seat of my car. I went out there and got it. I went to my car and I got a pair of pliers. I went out there in the middle of the football field, baseball field, the whole kit and caboodle. Took my pocket knife and I cut a slit in that half stick of dynamite. I crimped the fuse on that cap, stuck it down there, had me a match and I lit it. I walked on back in the school. Man, I made it a point I was talking to Sarah Bullock and Ollie Carpenter and Miss Honeycutt and Miss Nichols, Claire Nichols, the whole damn 9 yards, and all of a sudden, boom, boy, the window shook that damn building like that. Scared the shit out of every damn body. Hell, I had an excuse. I was in there talking to everybody. Monday morning, I was in homeroom. I happened to glance out the window and here comes Mr. Neal, coming across the driveway. Came up down there, knocked on the door, somebody sitting back there close to the door, went back in. He said, I want to see Carl. Went back in, shut the door. I said, Carl, do you know anything about that explosion Friday night? I said, no, sir. I said, it was loud. He turned around and started to walk off. And old man Will Nichols lived up on a little knoll up above the cafeteria and the ag building and everything. He said, well, Mr. Will Nichols was on his porch and he thought that World War III had started and Mr. Neal was halfway laughing, so he knew damn good and well I'd done it.
See, there's a reason you guys didn't tell me this shit when I was young. Because that would have just given me excuses to get in trouble.
But
more in trouble.
But that must have been about the same time I thought. Gone to well, Charlie and Gordon Chandler. Paul Farrell had already gone in the army then, but we'd ride our bicycles to Durham from home. Out to East Campus at Duke, go out there and get us some ice cream and ride back home. Down Holloway Street. I wouldn't go down Holloway Street and have less than a tank.
That's a pretty good distance.
It was about 6 miles, I think, from the Forks to home. But that was before I got the car. But coming home one night, I had that car, and I happened to think about it. Now was that siren. that air raid siren sticking up. Shit. So, and it had those stirrup things screwed into the side, you know, those screws would build up on the end of it. You could climb up there to it. I guess it was 12 to 15 feet off the ground. Stopped there, and I climbed up that damn pole, and there was one of those, hell, it was a damn, hell, that damn siren was as tall as I was, and that big around, a great old big switch box down there underneath it, and right underneath that switch box there was a damn handle. Well, I kicked that handle in, and it kicked off. Got my damn car and came home with that damn straight exhaust on that well pipe. Well, hell, everybody in that end of Durham County knew whose car it was, because it wasn't big enough sound like it. Got home. Mr. Leroy Proctor lived there, right beside the railroad. Mr. Leroy Proctor lived in that big house. Well, his son, Leroy Jr., he used to run around with us. Well, hell, Mr. Proctor would have to get up out of bed and come back down there, cut the damn switch off. Well, that went on for I don't know how damn long. Well, finally, Mr. Proctor took the fuse out of it and had one of those screw-in fuses. Well, I crawled up, went up the pole one night, and I threw the damn switch and it wouldn't do a damn thing. So I opened the damn box and the fuse was gone. Well, I told Frank Hardis, you remember Frank?
Yep.
Frank's daddy was an electrical engineer and he was on the school board and everything. So I told Frank, I said, Frank, the fuse is gone out of the siren box. He said, stop tomorrow night, I'll have you one on the steps going up to the house. So I stopped there the next night with him and screwed the fuse in, threw the damn switch in, and hell, it never got tired of messing with it. I didn't mess with it anymore, but I just wanted to show, damn it, I couldn't do it. I did.
So, well, oh my God, I've always loved that one. That's good. Okay, I got some more. Let's tell me about when you met Harold, because I know Harold was a big part of your life when you were young.
Harold was a year ahead of me in school, and we would, to tell you what we would do. One Sunday, we'd leave home, Charlie and I would leave home. We'd go down the Baptist Road, we'd pick up Paul Furl on his bicycle and everything. We'd go over to Harold's and we'd ride over to Main Gate at Camp Putnam.
Wow.
The next Sunday, Harold would come, he would stop by and pick up Paul and come over and get me and Charlie, and we would ride over to Raleigh Durham Airport.
No, when you say ride, you don't mean ride on your bike. So, you got Harold?
Bicycle.
Really?
Ride our bicycles over there.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a long way.
Yeah. But Harold was driving the bus then, and he had
When did you meet Harold?
in school.
In school.
Yeah. But Harold was driving the bus. Old 98. It was one of those old buses, way back in the damn 30s, early 30s. It had the wooden floorboards in it. Well, Harold he started fording creeks if the creek was up and the roads were flooded out. Hell, Harold didn't care. He'd go right on through the water until the floorboards were floating around. And flood his engine out, get his engine wet and everything. Well, that tickled the hell out of me because I'd get to school in time and Mr. Neal would send me to go finish up Harold's bus route. Well, hell, I'd put me back. I wouldn't get back to school till about 10, 11 o'clock. That suited me just fine. But talking about my Monroe Scoggins, Mr. Neal had an old 36, 37 Chevrolet. So he called my Monroe and myself both over there one morning. He said, all right, now somebody has got to go to the school board of education and pick up some kind of papers. And I've got to have them back here soon. That's now. And he said, there's no point in telling one of you to go because I know the other one is going anyway and that will be counted absent. So the both of you go together. But take my car, go to the Board of Education, get those papers, and come back. Right now, now don't kill time. Yes, sir, Mr. Neal, we sure will. So we went to the Board of Education, we got the papers, and at that time, the criterion the state, and I've forgotten the name of the other thing, it opened at 11 o'clock. They carried the B-rated movie. The Santa and the Carolina, that they didn't open till 1, and that they had the high-class movies and everything. So we got in Mr. Neal's car and started on back to school. One of us asked the other one, said, how much money you got? So we came up with enough money between the two of us that we could buy 2 movie tickets, a box of popcorn, and a drink. So hell, we just parked the damn car, went to the movie. When we got back to school, just in time for the school buses to get to leaving, Mr. Neal was standing there just shaking his head. He said, I should have known better.
This when I were in your senior year, right?
Yeah. I forgot whether, I believe we were in our senior year that year, yeah.
Wow. Well, the funny thing is, when you said you quit, I was like, I thought you were going to say you never graduated. I'm like, Dad, you really? Okay. So I asked Mom, tell me anything else about high school before we move on?
My junior year in high school, I went to work for William Muirhead Construction Company. Well, I was going with a daughter of one of his superintendents, but got a job with William Muirhead, and the first thing they did, they put me in a niggle, in another niggle, it wasn't any such thing as cement coming in bulk cars then. Came in box cars and 90-pound bags. We could get in there and dust flying. Yeah, man, you could have sued, I could have sued everybody in Durham, man, mesothelioma and all that kind of blade mess. Breathing that cement dust. Well, we did that for about a week. And then then they transferred me over to Camp Butler, driving an old farm tractor. Must have been, hell, I don't know how damn many years old it was. It didn't have an electric start on it. You had to crank it by hand. I was pulling a sheep-foot roller, rolling an athletic field, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then stayed on that maybe about a month, and then the last month in school, they put me on a water wagon, spraying water on the streets and stuff. And Camp Butler had a big German and Italian prisoner of war camp then, and I had a German that would ride with me on the water truck. He'd take care of the back end of it when I was driving going along. But the next summer, my senior summer when I graduated, I had always wanted to go to work with Tia.
Oh, before you go there, what do you remember about graduation?
Well, hell, we walked in,
Same thing.
I don't even remember whether we wore caps and gowns that night. I don't think so, because didn't nobody have no money for renting no caps.
Where'd you have? You guys had them in the gym?
It had them in the auditorium.
Auditorium.
Everyone, it must have been, let's see, it was a high school up at Bahama. What it? Oh, Bragtown, one out there on Guest Road, Oak Grove, Lowe's Grove, and Bethesda. There must have been 6 white high schools, not counting Durham High School. And then there was a black high school in Durham and maybe 2 black high schools in the county. But the night that we graduated, every one of us could take out a diploma and read it. And we could add 2 and 2 and get 4. The black kids that graduated from their high schools could take that diploma and read it. They could add 2 and 2 and get 4. I mean, we were everyone getting the same education.
Mm-hmm.
But when that summer, I went to Durham, I went up at Tia's office and talked to Dylan. I said, I want a job. He said, all right, give you one. Go out to the backyard. That was back of Mr. Tier's house. That's where they kept all the equipment.
Neil O'Tear was at his house at that point?
Yeah, the back.
Wow.
All the heavy equipment was out behind his house, out there.
Really?
Out down the Roxborough Road. You know where the big house is, the Tiers?
Yeah, Tear House.
Yeah, All right,
Wow.
it belongs to Duke University now.
Yes, it does.
But School of Engineering's got it,
Yep.
because I think they gave it to them. But the backyard was there. He said, Go out there and talk to Rex and get you one of those brand splitter new Studebaker trucks." That was all they could get then. You know, the government, the government, and so, you know, the war was over. So I got one 6-wheel drive, you know. We had a little bitty road job up at Stem. So I drove on up there,
And where?
up at Stem, up in Granville County.
Stem here.
Went up there and we'd work. Daddy would take me to town to catch the tear out a truck that would come by that Holloway Street and Austin Avenue and pick everybody up, carry them up there on that job. But if it happened to be raining, or you didn't work, but you had to stay there all day because you didn't get away back home. So, man, I worked some days and worked 5 days. Some weeks I'd work 5 days. Some weeks might work 2, 3, whatever. So, the morning of August the 23rd, 1946 was on a Friday. But Daddy was getting up and getting ready to carry me to work. I went in there and came out. I was wearing a pair of blue jeans and a kind of a yellow plaid flannel shirt. A girl that I was going with then had given me for graduation. And I had on a pair of loafers and a pair of socks. Daddy said, you want to go wear that to work on you? I said, no, I'm going down to join the Marines. So, carried me on to Durham. And the recruiting office for the Marine Corps was down in the basement of the courthouse then. And it must have been about 6 or 7 of us that went in there, signed up that morning. Remember, that's on a Friday. And the recruiter got a whole station wagon load of us enough and carried us to Raleigh to take our physicals, all that kind of stuff. Well, we passed the physical, was sworn in and everything. They put us up in a hotel, gave us meal tickets for that Friday night for supper, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and bus tickets to Yamasee, South Carolina. So I remember I got on, some way or another, I got on the telephone. I don't remember how. I must have got on the phone and called collect home, because what money I had in my pocket was change, jingling. I didn't have another damn penny in my pocket, nothing. So I called collect home and asked Daddy if he would send me $10 Western Union. So he did that, picked it up the next morning, so I'd have a little bit of money. Well, we went ahead and ate supper that night and breakfast the next morning. I've forgotten what time we left Raleigh. Anyway, we left Raleigh and stopped every damn way in the world going to Yamasee. Remember, we stopped down at Charleston, South Carolina, and picked up a whole bunch of Marines at the station at Paris Island. Well, they knew good and well where we were going. Said, "You'll be sorry." Well, got on down there, and it was a Sunday morning when we got to Paris Island. About 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, got over out of Yamasee. Well, put us up in a damn old wooden barracks at mess. Gave us a couple of sheets and a blanket. Well, just about the time we got to bed, they fell us out, and we ran round and around a broom straw field, broom straw about yay high, and it's soaking wet, running round and around that damn field. Pulled us back in, gave us breakfast, and put us on cattle cars. That was with a tractor, with a flatbed trailer with stake sides on it.
I've been on one of those. I've been on one of those.
Put all of us that could get on it. Carried us across the river or the creek or wherever it was over at Paris Island. Let the back gate down and we jumped out. Our drill instructor met us. Plumber. He was a buck sergeant. He wasn't quite as tall as I was, but he was built like a damn wedge. Had about shoulders, about an axe handle across and a waist about yay big. Wearing a pair of khakis that you could cut your fingers on the crease on the shirt and trousers, and a pith helmet. Well, I had a fairly good profanity vocabulary. But he called us sons of bitches that I'd never heard mentioned in my damn life. And I remember the last thing he said, as far as you people are concerned for the next 11, 12, 13 weeks, however long it was, I am Jesus Christ, direct representative on earth. Now that was about 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, by noontime, I figured out he knew what in the hell he was talking about. He carried us, marched us down there, and got us all issued dungarees and skivvy shorts and shoes and socks and every darn thing else. Everything we needed that time. And a bucket, 10-quart water bucket with soap and laundry detergent and all that kind of labor stuff in it, toothbrush and shake.
What'd you do with your old? What'd you do with the clothes that you were wearing when you got there?
Wearing that damn same plain blue jeans and flannel shirt.
Okay, you haven't gotten to the point of actually changing into them yet.
We changed in it after we went down there and got those uniforms. So
Yeah. What'd you do with your stuff you came in on?
Carried us back over out of the building and we bundled them up in that brown paper sack stuff, you know, tied them in a knot, sent them home. Well, that afternoon, we still hadn't learned. He had halfway taught us how to make up the beds. That was it, the bunks. Well, that night, after supper, fell us out, carried us over to the movie. I said, hell, this ain't gonna be bad at all. We go to a movie every Sunday night. I went to movies, training films and 3D films. The next movie I saw was when I went home.
Oh, that's some good stuff.
But that was a good life. But you know what?
I have some more questions before you go, because now you're past high school. Cause we kind of branched off from Harold. I remember more stories about Harold. Harold was the first one of you guys to have a car.
Yeah. At least it was Daddy's car. But Harold had access to his daddy's car, drive it anytime he wanted to. But Harold hauled more fertilizer in that blame school bus than he did youngers. every afternoon he'd haul fertilizer all over the blame field. Lord.
I remember at one point in the past you telling me that when you didn't have a car, didn't have any money, Harold would come over on his way to work, pick you up.
That was in 1948. I'd finished. I'd gone in the Marines for 2 years.
Oh, so we're way past this.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know the timeline, so let's stop right there.
Right.
Okay, let's see. So now you're in the Marines. What year is it?
Went in August 23rd, 1946.
Okay, and you did your Paris Island. That was
Paris Island, from left there and went to Naval Ammunition Depot, Shoemaker, Arkansas.
okay. Tell me your two favorite things about Paris Island back then.
Well, one darn thing, I reckon one of the main reasons I went into the Marine Corps, I'd started a whole lot of things and had never finished the first damn thing. So I was determined to do something, damn it, that I could prove to myself. And one thing, Mom and Daddy didn't want me to go in service, and that's the main reason I went in it. And if I figured as long as I was going to piss everybody off, I'd go in the Marines, because that's supposed to be the roughest of all of them. But, you know, when I start thinking back, I couldn't have picked a better time to have gone in service than that I did. Because I served with some of the best and sharpest senior NCOs that had ever been.
They were all.
They went in the Marine Corps during the Depression and early World War II. The ones that went in during the Depression that came off the farms of the Carolinas and Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, the ranches of Montana.
Dust Belt.
Yeah, the iron mines and fields up in Minnesota, the steel mills of Pittsburgh and Birmingham. But they went in all branches of the service because they were hungry, they were cold, they didn't have a job. They didn't have a penny to their name, what clothes they had. They were on the back. They didn't know where they were going to sleep that night. And I've talked to some that had never had a brand new pair of shoes until they went in service.
Wow.
And, well, and two, they were gonna give them some place to sleep and feed them 3 meals a day and $21 a month. Well,
Jesus.
some of them had never seen that kind of money in their life. Well, some of them had gone in the early 30s. In fact, Rube Daly, a good friend of mine he was from Indiana. I knew Rube when I was at Camp Lejeune and also in Korea. But he went in the year I was born, 1928, and served the first 8 or 10 years in China, and that was the best duty in the world. He said privates and PFCs had houseboys that kept that
Shoe shine.
every day. They didn't have to hit a tab at
And
nothing.
utilities
Not-
pressed.
nothing. But, well, if it started about 38 or 39, a whole lot of them's time was up, but they could hear stuff that was going on in Europe then. They knew good and well that war was coming on. So they figured, well, as long as I'm in here, I may as well stay on. Well, the war came along, and then the war was over in 45. Well, some of them went to China and pulled a year in China. Some came to the States and stuff. Well, but by that time, they had half the time in. Figured we may as well go on and stay. Well, every one of them had right then. But they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have asked for about a bunch of people to work with.
Wow. And what? So now, this is what year? This is when you first
The first went in.
yeah.
Now, but I remember, well, I made rank fast.
Well, hold on, stop. After you, so now, you finished Paris Island.
And went out to Arkansas.
Before you did it, did when you graduated from Paris Island, what was that about? I mean, like, God, that'd be.
Well, we just graduated. I don't even remember. We just went out there and they gave us our emblems and this and that. They won't no big rigmarole like they have now.
Yeah.
But we went out to Arkansas, and we didn't have the stuff that they had at Camp Lejeune and Camp Pendleton, the Fleet Marine store, where they actually worked with the Marines. We were actually the rent-a-cops out there. That's all we did, just police scooter mess. But anyway, I'd gotten my government driver's license. I figured that, I was walking Shoemaker. I was walking TNT. That was my post. And it was desolate as hell. It was
Wait a
about
minute.
5
What
miles.
does walking TNT mean?
That trinitrotoluene, and that's why all that stuff was.
Oh, you mean like
the
TNT
rockets.
explosive?
Yeah, and I had to walk around it. Yeah.
I guess that was a no smoking area.
Well, no, I didn't smoke it anyway, so it didn't bother me. But anyway, I got my government driver's license, and we had 2 Jeep patrols at that time. One worked the main industrial complex itself, and the other one was a roving patrol. Go anywhere in the world on that base you wanted to go. I got it. I could go anywhere in the boat on that, and it was a humongous base. I've forgotten how many tens of thousand acres it covered. I could go through the woods, fields, any damn where in the world I wanted to go.
How'd you communicate? Did you have walkie-talkies or anything?
We had on radios, but half the time they didn't work and didn't give a damn if it did. Couldn't nobody get in touch with you. So you just go any damn way you wanted to go. But we made PFC. And I remember Hoover Sherman from Durham he had ended up in our platoon. But anyway, we were all, there was a lot larger ceremony the day that we made PFC than they do for the Commandant of the Marine Corps now, because we had it right there. We had a record player. We didn't have no band.
Uh-huh.
We had everything. So we made PFC. Well, it was a little small detachment. There weren't but about 100 of us there all together. So they gave out the PFC Chevrons by alphabetical order. When we got down to me, I didn't even have any PFC Chevrons. I didn't give a shit. Well, one but a couple of 3 weeks later, I happened to look at the bulletin board. That was a requirement. You better look at that bulletin board every day to read what was on it, because something might change from the day before. I looked on it and I saw where anybody that wanted to take the exam for corporal could go by the office and sign up. There was one staff sergeant that liked me for some reason or other, Ed Fristock from up close to Chicago. He had gone in 1936, had gone to sea school and had served on a heavy cruiser prior to World War II, and then had gone on a line outfit. He was undoubtedly the sharpest Marine I've ever seen in my life. And he was a postal Marine to a certain extent, looked like a postal Marine, but I never heard him raise his voice. As long as you were doing your job, he was constantly pushing you and pulling you. Do better all the time. Well, a couple of days later, after that thing came out on the bulletin board, he stopped me. He said, "I didn't see where you signed up to take exam for corporal." I said, "Nope. I just made PFC, Staff Sergeant." He said, "I didn't see any time limit or anything on it." I said, "Nope, I didn't either." But I said, "I'm perfectly satisfied with what I'm doing." He said, "Well, I suppose some corporal decides he wants that blame thing, and he goes in there and talks to Colonel Fenton, and they decide to put a corporal on that Jeep. Then you'll go back out there to walk in TNT." I said, "Well, I guess you're right." So I went up there and signed up for it. But the damn question came along. We went up there and took the exam for corporal. It was the same stuff we'd had in boot camp, a little bit of first aid, a little bit of a close order drill, field strip the M1, field strip the 45. Came time to field strip the 45, my mind went blank. I couldn't remember a damn thing, nothing. I thought, oh well, that's it, I ain't gonna make corporal. Well, anyway, coming on out, Fristock said, "What happened to you?" I said, "I don't know, I just couldn't remember nothing." He said, "Come on in the guard shack with me." Went on in there, told the corporal of the guard, he said, "Go in there and get me a pistol." Gave him a pistol, said, "Come on." We went back out the back room. He said, "Field strip." I field strip. Said, "Put it back together, put it back together." He said, "Field strip it again and hand it to me." Handed it to him, and I gave him a slide and everything thing. Frame. He said, "All right, I'm gonna show you something." He reached in his pocket and he got a match or either a paper clip or something. He mashed in on the firing pin, dropped the firing pin, stopped, pulled out the firing pin and the spring, took the firing pin and started punching out pins. Every pin in it, and he tore it down to every little bitty piece.
So put it back together.
Putting it back together. He did that for a couple of times and then started naming each and every part. Handed it to me. Okay, I started doing the same thing. I got down pretty damn good. Well, I was pulling 4 to 8 watch that day. I went on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, got off at 8 the next morning. 8 that night, went on at 4 the next morning, got off at 8 the next morning. So, he said, "Be back up here tomorrow afternoon at 1300. I said, "Okay." So I went to work that afternoon at 4, and I went back down the woods path somewhere or other, and I had my poncho with me, and I spread it out on the hood of that Jeep, and I started tearing that pistol down, putting it together, tearing it down. And I did it continuously until it got dark. The next morning when I went back on watch at 4 o'clock, when the sun came up and it got light, I started doing the same blame thing. So I was back up at the office that afternoon. They met with the board. It was Colonel Fenton and Lieutenant Stone, Master Sergeant. I can't even remember his damn name. And Gunnery Sergeant Pulling and Fristock. He was sitting over there by himself. And they showed us the field strip pistol. Pulled it down, tore it all to pieces. And I looked over at Fristock and he nodded his head. Tore down every blade piece of it, put it back together. Well, hell, it wasn't a couple of weeks later I made corporal. But anyway, Fristock and Stone were the two that took L.G. Smith and I from out at the base into Camden, Arkansas, the night to catch the train going to Amtrak school at Delmar.
Tell me about, stop right there for a minute. Hold on, let me pause for a minute.